tell you why you are here. You are here because of a reason. I think you can relate to the title. You are here for something very profound. Hollywood keeps secrets in films. Secrets to the hidden realm that we can't see that they know about. There is something very interesting about these two films in particular. And there are other films that are like them. I like them both. I think they're both entertaining. But they both start off so deep, so interesting. They have an interesting idea that sucks you into the film. A revolutionary idea that makes you question life and existence itself. It makes you question everything you believed in your entire life. And what happens at the end of these two films? Like, nothing is learned. Like, there is nothing, like, everything goes back to pretty much regular life bullshit. The ending of these films are defeatist. They are. Let's talk about The Matrix first. Morpheus teaches Neo about a world he can't see called The Matrix. It's deep. It's full of Freemasonry. It's full of esoteric symbolism. Alice in Wonderland. What if it's true? What if we are in the Matrix? All this mysterious shit, you know? And sitting in the room, the dark room with the couch. And he's being initiated, he is, into the secret realm. He's now special to them. He will become special. He is now learning about the secrets that have been pulled over our eyes. They've been tricking human beings with. And he enters the Matrix. But what happens halfway through the movie? He starts fighting and there's like slow motion, and I just hated that this deep philosophical film, which was really interesting and really rooted in true shit, now just turns into some dumb action movie. What? Huh? What? This is like a different movie. Like, go back to the philosophical shit. Well, why are we all fighting now with the running on the ceiling and fighting in slow motion? I mean, that is not an upgrade. It is not better than the beginning of the film. I love action movies. I do. I have a massive collection, especially 80s action movies. I love 80s and 90s action movies. I do. But this film, you know, it felt like a different kind of film. Why ruin, like, this very intellectual thing? I'll tell you why. They ruined it on purpose. They didn't want people to learn, okay? Hollywood wants you to think The Matrix isn't a possibility. They want you to think that this is fantasy, that this is made up. This is a Hollywood fantasy made up story adventure. That's what they want you to think. They put secret real shit in movies that's actually real, and their way to trick people into thinking it isn't real is by making it a movie. Is by making it seem like it's totally made up. It's total fantasy. That's the point of Hollywood. Hollywood tricks the public. It gives them a little bit of truth and then yanks all of it away because they don't want to tell you the real truth. They want you to think that it's all bullshit. Oh, there's no way the Matrix can be real. You know, all that. It's just some action movie. Why are you taking it so seriously, bruh? That's the mentality that they want, and they do, and they're very successful at it. They're very successful at it. You know that there were so many people that researched things that were similar to what the Matrix concept was before they ever made the fucking film. You know it. You just know. You know. They didn't make that up right there. It's like hidden knowledge they already have. All right. Now Office Space. It's the precursor to The Office, the NBC show. Very funny. I like the movie. And the main character learns this cruel, unfair thing about society that's hidden in the workplace. People who act like they're bosses and don't do anything get upgrades. And all the worker bees, the people that are below them, have to do all the work, and the bosses take all the credit, and the bosses don't have to do anything. This film is exposing the horrible, seedy nature of the way businesses are run, and society in general. Not just American society now. this is a very interesting idea. It's the truth, and it's here in the film, and he's like Neo in this film. And unlike Neo, who kind of ran into the Matrix, the main character in this film, I don't remember his name, but the main character in this film learns himself and just decides he doesn't want to work. And they give him an upgrade. They make him a boss. Okay, so, and another thing about the film, it's a comedy. So, they want you to laugh, and it wants you to think, but it doesn't want you to think too hard. Oh no, it's a comedy. Oh, comedy, yuck, yuck, yuck. I love comedy. Everyone who watches my channel knows I'm a comedian. I absolutely adore comedy. It's extremely important in life. But this, if you're going to make a comedy film, then just make a comedy movie. I like this film, but I would have loved it if the ending was different. What happens at the end? They still go work a different job. What? The whole film was exposing how corrupt the work environment is. How corrupt employment and slave wage jobs are in our society. That was the point of the film. And what happens at the end? They just leave the job and find another job. What the fuck? I thought this was deeper than that. I thought there was a big lesson. I thought this film was going to spark a revolution and people were not going to work these slave wage jobs anymore and, you know, all that shit. And it didn't. They become like construction workers at the end. And I remember they said a line at the end of the film where they're like, it's just a job. Oh my God, after all that, after all the rebelliousness they gave in the film of how horrible it is to work in a cubicle and how horrible that work environment is, how dull and lifeless and extremely strict and stressful working in a cubicle of a job is. And I used to work in a fucking cubicle. I used to have that kind of life. Waking up at fucking 5 in the morning every day. Oh my God. All the paperwork, the computers. It was extremely strict. It was a nightmare. Yeah, I hated my life when I worked in a cubicle. I really fucking did. I'm glad I don't work there anymore. I feel really bad for those people. You know, actually, when I used to work in a cubicle, and I can say this now, I called a few people who worked there, like the higher-ups, I called them masochists. And I don't know. If you're a nice person and you work in a cubicle, that's cool. But, you know, just, let's talk about that ending again. I mean, I do get it. You know, it's still a pretty good lesson that I've learned because I used to work in a cubicle and I left it because it wasn't for me. It is for other people. There are people that love working in a cubicle. But, you know, it wasn't for me, and so now I have a job I really like. But even though it's a pretty good lesson, it still doesn't, like, it doesn't give the next step to life. Okay, what about that fact that it's a slave wage job? What about the fact that we pay too much taxes? Corrupt government in society, making us slaves, and we work too many hours, and we have lives. We don't want to just work all the time. What about all that shit? All that shit I thought was the point of the film. All that was just washed away, though. Just for a pretty good lesson? Like, what? These are both from the 90s. And if I'm not mistaken, they both may have been released in, like, 1999, I think. So, what is the lesson here? Well, it's basically what I was saying earlier, is that, you know, just like The Matrix, Office Space does not want to be too deep. It doesn't want to truly expose everything. It doesn't want to create a spark of revolution. It doesn't want to create a better society where people work less and people are happier with their lives. No, it doesn't want to do that. No. So these films are very similar. They are films that try to be deep, and there's like deepness in them. It's hidden, people. It's hidden. It's hidden knowledge. It's hidden stuff that they know, that they created. They created this society. They did this. And we're basically their slaves. please leave a like and a comment or two. I hope I didn't insult anybody. If you have a job that you love in a cubicle, that's cool. But I'm just saying it wasn't for me, and I find those jobs to be way too strict. I don't think they're very. They're just. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. If you think I'm a nutball, please tell me. If you think what I said makes sense, please let me know. I don't get many comments. I always found a connection with these two films, and also, these aren't the two films that only do this. There's lots of films that are like these. I forgot what they were, but these two are very similar, and they're both entertaining movies, but they didn't have enough balls. They didn't teach the lessons that we wanted from them. They didn't give us the new hope for society, the better hope, the happier life. They didn't give that to us. No, because they don't want that for us. They want us to be their slaves for as long as possible. Just remember, love the movies, but fight the power.